Hello, everybody. Average Gamer here. Welcome to another, well, not really an episode, but a announcement video. So, as of 16 hours ago, Supreme Ruler, or Battle Goats more specifically, has announced an addition to their series, The Great War. So we got Supreme Ruler, The Great War coming later this year. From the sounds of it, it's a World War One based game. From the sounds of it, you probably start around 1912-ish and then lead up to 1914, and then the world goes to poop. Pretty much sounds like they're still using the same engine. So if you already know your diplomacy and economics and all that stuff of the Supreme Ruler series, these things will all be in the game. But there's a couple things in here that kind of stick out. Number one, the set piece battles. I'm hoping that basically the set piece battles are kind of like how it was in the original Supreme Ruler 2010, where you can only go to certain areas of the map, and certain areas are blocked out. So for example, if you are playing in Supreme Ruler 2010, you're playing just the Southeast United States. There was Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and I think that was it. And Texas was actually broken up into North and South Texas. That to me was more of a set piece map. It was a really limited map. It was really small. It was kind of concise, and there you go. I liked it. I thought it was a good idea. What I'm hoping for is that these set piece maps for the next series are kind of like that, where basically you just get the units. There's no diplomacy. There's no economics. There's nothing you have to worry about other than the troops and where they go and what they do. Obviously, I'm going to assume that the game is going to be at a slower pace. All the reason why is because you're mostly going to be dealing with infantry in during World War One. It was pretty much in World War One was all about trenches. So I'm going to assume that we'll be able to build trenches, like we can build roads. Build fortifications, things like that, where we can move up, capture, build, and then move on. The set piece battles, though, I'm hoping that here's your units. You can order your replacements through the minister still, say the Minister of Defense. You can still put in your request for units, and they'll show up on some part of the map somewhere. You're not limited to reserves or anything like that. You're just limited basically in time. That'd be pretty good. And have like the Battle of Teutoburg Forest, the Battle of the Somme. I'm trying to remember the name of the city in the south of France, in the kind of the southeast part of the Western Front there that I can't think of the name right now. That had the really horrible battle between the German and the French. The Battle of Ypres. With the Canadians and the Germans, where the Germans used gas for the first time against Canadian troops. The Second Battle of Ypres, the Battle of Passchendaele, the Vimy Ridge. All these set battles would be really cool, where you have these massive amounts of infantry clashing against infantry. I don't know how the current engine would utilize things like this, though, to be 100% honest. So I'm hoping there is some changes to the engine to make it more infantry friendly, which I'm looking forward to. I'm also hoping, since this sounds like it's pretty much the same engine and that was in Supreme Ruler Ultimate in 36 and Cold War and all the other ones that's been going on for the last 12 or so years. They've been using, that we can hopefully, fingers crossed, get some upgrades that we finally need in the engine. From the sounds of it, though, since the engine is not 64-bit compatible, we're not going to get those efficiency boosts, I think, that were also, or performance issues, sorry, so well fought near the end. This sounds like they're trying to do more of a period piece, meaning it's mostly supposed to be played during 1914 to 1918. With campaigns specifically for the World War One design, probably like Gallipoli and was it the Walterberg, Voltberg, whatever it's called, the German offense into Belgium and Luxembourg. The German advance into Russia, the collapse of the Russian forces and government into the Soviet Union. All sorts of all the different things. Now, I'm kind of hoping that you can also pick out the different battle plans and kind of order units around in battle groups a little bit better this time, but we'll have to see about that. Overall, wouldn't say I'm overly excited for Supreme Ruler of the Great War. It's one of those things where it feels, they're saying that it's more than DLC. But the way I look at it is, we have a 36 campaign. If this goes to, say, 1912, it's 14 years beforehand. So, theoretically, the game plays a lot slower. So at a high speed, the infantry moves a lot faster, but technically it's like speed 1 in Supreme or Ultimate. That would make sense. If there's massive changes to the engine, making things a little bit more efficient, making the diplomacy system a little differently, being able to annex territories, just small territories, not full territories and things like that. That'd be interesting. But if there are major changes to the engine, then I'd be rather interested in possibly purchasing. I'm definitely going to be on the fence for the first while until I see screenshots, video showing why this game is different than Supreme Ruler Ultimate and why it's not DLC. I am a huge supporter of BattleGo. I'm a huge supporter of the games, for the record. This is just obviously the initial announcement, so I mean, we're still probably not going to get all the information yet about what's going on and what's going to happen. So we'll see. My only worry is that this is basically just going to turn it to be DLC. It could be basically the first half of the 36 campaign, but it could just be the part before it. I'm hoping that, say, for example, in this, you can only play in Europe. That would be very interesting. They made the map just in Europe, and they made the map massive. If we had a Europe that was the size of the current world we're living in, or playing in for Supreme Ruler Ultimate, that would be amazing. If that's the case, I will be extremely excited. Extremely excited, because then we'd actually have down to, we'd be going below the divisional level. Because right now it's the division level. Could we go below the division level? I'd be rather interested to see. If we could get a huge map of Europe and just play on the European map. Have countries that are off screen, off map, that we can do trades with. Have little nodes around the map somewhere, a la Total War Empire. I don't know. It'd be rather interesting to see just how things can be integrated, how things can be done, and all that stuff. Yes, World War I was fought in the Pacific to a certain point. The Japanese did fight the Russians. The Japanese were involved in World War I. They were a member of the Entente. And that's one thing to remember. World War I was not fought between the Allies and the Axis. It was fought between the Central Powers and the Entente. The Entente was Russia, France, and England, versus the Central Powers, which were the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Turkey, and Germany. Later on, Italy, I believe, either started with the Central Powers and then switched over to the Entente, or was neutral at the beginning. and didn't want to involve anybody, and then got involved as the Central Powers were kind of starting to crumble or stall. Hence the whole Italy's never started a war on the same side that it ended a war on. I'm trying to think of what else here. Yeah, so Japan was involved, Australia, Canada, the US later on at the end. They're all saying there's going to be a sandbox mode, though I don't know how. I mean, if you're playing as one of the Central Powers, you're kind of going to be SOL a little bit because the Entente powers, Russia, England, well, actually mostly France and England, at that point control the majority of the world, especially England. England at that point was still the English Empire. This was the beginning of their crumbling of the English Empire. India wasn't even the Raj; it was just it was just part of England. England controlled what 2/3 of Africa. Canada wasn't even a dominion at the point. We didn't even have our own independence. Right when the British declared war, we were automatically at war. So were the Aussies, the Kiwis there down in New Zealand. A lot of territories in the Caribbean. So we had to just send troops to fight on behalf of the English. So we're going to be limited to who we can play, really, when you think about it. It's one of those things where I'm excited and interested to see how they pull this off. Like I said, if it's just a massive European map, then they're just playing along the lines of the French and British versus the Germans, and the Russians versus the Germans, or versus the Austro-Hungarian Empire as well. I'm excited to see kind of how this is. Since we don't have that much information, we'll have to see. But that's a 12-minute video there, me kind of just giving the gist of the situation. Right now, we don't know much other than it's going to be, kind of like, I'm thinking 36, but in 1912/14/18. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.